at Valencia Club de Fútbol, Michael Hyam, Head of Sponsorship at Sevilla FC, and Eduardo Valdés, International Business Development Manager for SD Eibar. This is your final roundtable of the day. Please make these guys welcome and give them a round of applause. Iván, te paso la palabra. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Not sure if there's still many people in the room. We cannot see much from up here. This is the last session, so we're going to try to make it as much interactive as possible. We're going to bring a little bit of a Spanish flavor into the World Football Summit Asia. So, but before anything, I would like to say thank you to World Football Summit Asia for the opportunity to be here today to share a little bit more about La Liga strategy and the different strategies that our clubs at La Liga have for the region. I think it's been a wonderful wonderful 2 days for this first edition of the World Football Summit in Asia. So congratulations to the entire team. In a blink of an eye, I've been here in Asia for 10 years now, and I've seen how the industry has been growing, and I'm very happy to see now that with the role at La Liga and with our clubs, we're trying to also contribute to a better and bigger industry where we can all benefit from. So let me introduce my colleagues here today. So today we have with us clubs representatives coming all the way from Spain, Jordi from Hong Kong in this case, representing a little bit of a different, like a flavor of our clubs at La Liga. So I'm gonna let every one of you to introduce yourself, and perhaps if you wanna highlight 2 to 3 things that you might want to say very quick about your clubs, and then we can start with the session.
Yeah, well, I come from Eibar, so here I would like to remark that we work with incredible transparency, economical transparency. What it means that we are the only club without debt in the whole in our whole history. Then I would like to remark as well the work that we do with the grassroots. We educate them through the values. We don't aim on or focus on results, sport results. We try to focus everything on values and educate people that in the future will be in the community. That's what we try in the club.
I'm Michael Hyam, Head of Sponsorship at Sevilla. Obviously not from Spain, as you can tell by the accent. I guess for Sevilla, we're very proud to be the oldest club in La Liga and one of the oldest clubs in Spain. And I guess, the thing we're most famous for is the 5 Europa Leagues we won over a 10-year period. So yeah, that's where we are.
I'm Pedro, Belaunzarán from Valencia Club de Fútbol, Marketing and Commercial Department. And I think the main story to tell from Valencia is that it's our centenary year. Last month it was our 100-year birthday.
Happy birthday.
It was thank you. Thank you. It was an amazing and exciting work from all the club in order to make it a great centenary for the club and for the fans, to honor our great heritage, our great story. Were a lot of activations. The design, marketing, branding, operations department make an amazing job doing creating a whole new campaign of the centenary symbol, centenary anthem, the presentation of the centenary kit, a Legends match in which Mestalla Stadium could watch again all the players. So it was a year to celebrate Valencianism, to celebrate our story. So
excellent.
So my name is Jordi. I'm representing Barcelona here. First of all, I would like to thank you, the World Football Summit, for inviting us, La Liga, to inviting us in this panel as well. It's an honor for me to have these colleagues in here. I mean, they came from Spain. For me, it's much easier because I live in Hong Kong, so it's only 3 hours flight. What I would like to say, I mean, here we have different clubs representing La Liga, with different objectives, I would say. For us as a club, what we really aim is to communicate our message, spread our message that we are more than a club. And we are more than a club, not because just of Messi or not because just of the business and the brand impact. is because the values and the football and the Catalan roots, and that we are more than football, and we are other sports, indoor sports, female, etc. No? So everything under the umbrella of the values, and our mission is to become the most admired, beloved, and global sports brand. It's not by any chance that we say so. So thanks to La Liga and thanks to all these clubs in here, we can make it happen.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Well, now that everybody is a bit more familiar with the speakers, as well as you guys get to know a little bit more about the clubs, let's talk about the impact of La Liga Internationalization on the clubs. Let's start with Pedro, with Valencia's under-16 boys and girls team who joined us in Singapore just last week, taking part of one of the Asia's biggest international youth development tournaments, alongside with teams with Atletico and FC Barcelona this year. I would like to ask, how has Valencia and La Liga internationalization efforts put the club on the map so far here in this part of the world in Asia?
Well, first of all, that tournament in Singapore is important for us. We've been attending for the last years. It's an amazing opportunity for the players to go to Singapore, where our ownership is, to show about the academy work. That is one of our pillars, strategic pillars. And in terms of territory, well, Asia is obviously strategic for us because of the ownership. And we've been in the region for several years. We've been making summer tours. We've been enhancing our social presence, our digital presence here. This year we're developing social networks for China and for South Korean markets. We have a solid fan base here in Asia. It's an amazing fan base. In fact, they're so engaged with the club that this season a couple from Hong Kong went to Mestalla Stadium to get engaged in the halftime. It was an amazing story to tell.
Was it arranged by you, or was it pure
fans? No. Yes, of course, Asia is part of our international strategy. Territories like China, South Korea, Middle East, some countries of the Southeast Asia region. We're traveling here. This year we've been in these countries traveling for communication, for commercial tasks, and we're developing that. So our plan is to continue coming, to continue developing the region, to grow better. We're noticing that communication, digital, commercial partners are interested in and are noticing the value of collaborating with a club like Valencia. So that obviously is part of a competition like La Liga.
Pedro, may I ask, if you cannot answer, I'll just try my luck here. Are we going to see Valencia's first team coming to play in the region this summer, next summer, anytime soon?
Cannot answer.
That's what I was expecting. Okay. I'm asking this because I travel a lot in the region, and I can see that there is plenty of fans, out there cheering for Valencia, and it's always, a question that they keep asking me. So I think I'm gonna tell them Pedro spends a lot of time in the region. So hopefully, next time you can have an answer for them.
That's true. We're interested in the region. When the time comes, it will be great to be here.
Perfect. We look forward to it. Jordi, the FC Barcelona under-16 girls also were in Singapore last week. We hear a lot of chants of Barca ringing out of everything, or everybody cheering for the team. How FC Barcelona has been able to reach out all these fans in Asia so far?
Oh, it's very easy because of you, no? You give us the window every weekend, no? I mean, with these guys in here, we are very grateful to have La Liga here doing all the efforts that you are doing in order to broadcast all the games. First of all, that's our main point of contact with the fans and the audience. Second, as a club and only with our effort, yes, we have been putting a lot of resources in order to engage with the consumers and the fans. As I said before, fans are the center of our strategy. Football is the center of our strategy. and we cannot do anything commercial-wise, marketing-wise, digital-wise without them and considering them. This said, what we have to do first is to analyze the market, to analyze what the fan wants, as my colleagues are doing as well. And we started in Hong Kong more commercial-driven, and I would say that now Hong Kong is becoming more and more a headquarters where we are implementing marketing global campaigns in a more local way. So marketing, digital campaigns, academies, of course, and I have to say it because if not somebody will kill me in Barcelona, we open a museum in China with a store, with an academy, as Valencia is doing. No, Valencia is very well known for the academies, I think Barça as well. With the methodology that we have, with the coaches that we have 17 coaches living in Asia, which is not a minor number, no? Yeah. So we try to do several things, but as usual, what makes the difference is the TV. That's why we have a very good relationship, no? And the Champions League, no? So everybody knows that we won the La Liga last weekend. But now everybody's expecting us to play against Liverpool, and let's see what happens tomorrow.
Let's see. All the best for tomorrow. Eibar has also been putting a lot of effort into Asia, in particular in Japan or countries like Indonesia. Eduardo, how would you say LaLiga's internationalization strategy has complemented Eibar's strategy, in particular in Asia?
Well, I would say 100%, as you know. We try to cooperate as much as possible. We exchange, or we are in touch all the time, try to see in which point we can go together. It doesn't matter the country. We have been, for instance, in Japan, going there, right? But in other countries as well. So it's something general, and we go hand by hand. We have been developing the last year and a half a big effort, and for instance, in Japan, we have been there with La Liga activating on the field, trying to get as close as possible with the audience. So we have success or best cases examples, and it's mainly thanks to you. We cannot compare, or we have a slightly difference with those incredible, huge clubs. We don't have that sort of resource. So we have to try to be as close as possible to La Liga. You provide that sort of expertise that sometimes it's hard from our side to get it if we are in Eibar or in Valencia or in Sevilla. So that's work that you provide to the clubs. It's something important, and we need to take that advantage of that possibility.
Well, thank you very much. I want to highlight that we didn't, before the panel, I said that you guys are free to say anything you want.
I have to say that
making me look.
He had Inui playing in Eibar, and it helped a lot.
Well, at that time. I agree. We will talk about that later. But
to this point, and here's where it comes the Spanish flavor, I guess, into the session. Is I think I like to make it a little bit open and interactive, guys. So, but to this point, I think we agree that it's a great opportunity for Eibar when you had a Japanese player, playing in the club. But I can see, and I'm happy to say that I can see that there's a continuity to that strategy that Eibar developed, like a couple of years back. And then actually, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, you guys have actually signed your first official commercial partner once Inui already have left the club. So I think it's definitely a way to go, and one of the secrets of the success of Eibar.
For sure, yeah. And I would like to agree as well that more clubs are joining this trend, to try to collaborate as much as possible each other and with La Liga as well. So it's something really good for everyone, and we just delight about that, yeah.
Okay, moving on. Sevilla FC has constantly been delivering on the field of play. How does the strategy of the pitch meet your goals here in Asia, Michael?
Yeah, and just to reiterate your point there, actually, around the collaboration of clubs. I'm quite new to La Liga. I joined a year ago, and I've been so impressed with how the clubs communicate with each other, how the Liga brings them all together. Because obviously, we are football clubs. We compete on and off the pitch, of course we do. But I've seen a real good collaboration with, and I've noticed it the last few days again. So I think that's one point that the Liga is doing a fantastic job at bringing the clubs together, exchanging ideas, looking at ways we can work together. Because at Sevilla, you know, thank you, saying we are, you know, we do class ourselves as a big club, but it doesn't mean we have unlimited resource as far as international development, you know. And something that has helped me massively has been La Liga Global Network, the offices that you have all over, because you know, when I'm going into market, Asia specific, the last few days, La Liga has helped me introduce into many people in the audience, many agencies, people on the ground who understand the market better than I do. And that's been our strategy as far as international growth, is to go into key markets where we see good audience as far as La Liga, good association, fans who are interested in Sevilla, the story that we have. I'm working with local agencies to make sure we're getting out, you know, localized content, local events, activations, etc., and making sure we're speaking to the audience in the right way. And that's been our strategy internationally. In the past, we played in Japan 2 years ago, and on the basis of that, we opened a soccer school in Fukushima, which is doing very well for us. And the idea is to keep momentum going there. We want to come back to Asia. Unfortunately, we can't on this particular calendar year, but I'm hoping in the next 2 years we will be playing back out here, somewhere in the market. And again, listening to the conversations the last few days, it seems quite an exciting time. Different markets are popping up. Indonesia seems to keep popping up from conversations, Vietnam. So for us, we're going to be keeping a close eye on the market and utilising La Liga to help us to have them, you know, the right conversations, and listening to the clubs as well. As you say, you know, keeping the conversation going with the clubs. We can help each other in so many ways.
Excellent. Well, talking about brand impact and awareness, La Liga was recently announced as being in the Brands Finance top 10 brands in Spain for the first time ever, so highlighting the continued growth of La Liga. This is a question for all four of you. Please feel free to keep it as an open conversation. Mm-hmm. How has La Liga's growing brand awareness impacted on your clubs? And have you noticed an enhanced brand value alongside rising La Liga as a brand?
From our side, I mean, I'll go first. 100%. You know, our TV audience has gone up this year. Our social media growth is going in the right way. We were in the KPMG brand value report that came out last year, and our value's gone up again year on year. So that's got to be to do with the league. And I think in general, you know, you're hearing a lot more about La Liga as a brand. You're seeing them at every, you know, event. We're getting the word out there. So from Sevilla's point of view, 100% it's helped us grow as a brand.
This is coming from an Englishman based in Seville, so...
Yeah, and you know, I think it's given me a good perspective, and the brand of La Liga is doing a lot of the right things, and this helps us as well, of course.
Yeah, I agree, and I would like to in our particular case, we have seen or noticed the boosting in the media interest. We are getting as much an interest from the media to come to Eibar to test what we have been talking, trying to be there, trying to be close to the club, and to learn more about what we have been talking about, our story, no? All these years in the first division. And then we have noticed as well an impact in the sports side, the attractiveness of Eibar brand. Now people realize that we are in the first division, who we are, and the players start wanting to come to Eibar and play in the best Liga of the world, right? League of the world. So that something important in our case that we have noticed recently. So yeah, no.
Yeah, it's important. All of the clubs work in making their brand stronger every day, and it's important to be related to a competition that is also a strong brand. You know, especially in Asia, it's important that now La Liga is doing the different kickoff times, so a lot of our games can be watched here in Asia. We've been trying also to collaborate with all La Liga initiatives, with the most we can, with the global network. That is an amazing initiative. Yes, that they are always trying to increase the brand awareness in their own territories, because that's because the market is interested in the brand in the club. So we've been receiving influencers from China, from South Korea, invited by La Liga in a Liga Experience program, and it's been amazing. So it's in the interest of everyone. We're in this together to increase our brands here. So.
No, I'm nothing else to add. No, I think
Okay.
I mean they said
We'll go to the next.
everything. But what I would like to say is, I mean, La Liga is investing a lot of money, as we are, and as everybody is doing. We try to make this product as attractive as possible. No, so La Liga is doing it. I think we are doing. Eibar is doing it. Sevilla, Valencia, and all the clubs in here. It's not just a matter of the brand of La Liga, I would say. It's a matter of how the product is valuable to the fan. No? So the fan is comparing us, like it or not, to the EPL. And most in this region, no, in Southeast Asia, because of the history, because of the legacy that British teams has in here. This said, I would say that we are getting there. When I see the results of EPL on the pitch, and I see La Liga teams' results in European competition, etc., we are much better, no, somehow. I mean, sorry for the British guys in here. But in terms of I mean, now we will see Valencia facing Arsenal, and tomorrow we will have Liverpool. Sevilla won Europa League several times. So, I mean, in terms of the product, we are getting there, and in terms of brand value, and the numbers are already there, no? So we have our friends of Nielsen over here, and they can tell us. But as I said, it's thanks to you and thanks to the audiences, thanks to the TV, thanks to our digital efforts, thanks to your investment, thanks to our investment that we are putting our product, elevating the product. No?
Yeah. I would like to remark one more thing, is the work that the clubs are doing on the field. I mean, in Asia, for instance, we are doing a lot of efforts to come and to be close to the audience, try to engage with them with different activations or even projects. So it's not just bringing them to Spain, it's just coming here, being close to them, and try to know better all the way that they consume and they to want to learn about us, no?
You have to see, but you have to see in our case, but in other cases as well, no? The commercial partners that we have and how they are helping us, no? In our case, of course, we have Rakuten, as you know, and in Japan is strong and is very strong worldwide, but here in Malaysia we have Maybank. So, as Eduardo said, having this kind of partners in here that they help us to understand the market, Rakuten in Japan, Oppo in China, Maybank in Malaysia, I mean, for us, it makes the difference. And thanks to you, we can add value to our propositions as well, no?
Okay, now it's my turn to say thank you to the clubs as well. I mean, of course, from La Liga's point of view, what we try is to work together with all of you, with all of the clubs at La Liga, to set up the right platform and to put all our knowledge and our network in the region to support every single club at La Liga to have more opportunities to grow their brand in the region, and of course, to be exposed to get more commercial opportunities as well, while building up the fan base in each of these markets. In the end, I think we all agree that one of the biggest the disadvantages that we have if we compare ourselves to our friends from the EPL is the commercial partners, the commercial muscle that the clubs like in the EPL have, especially in Asia. So hopefully, in the right time, now that we are all working together, we will see more opportunities that in the end will derive, in being able to invest, having a bigger investment.
So when I'm based in Singapore, in Hong Kong, no? So I can see now Juventus is opening an office in Hong Kong, but we have Manchester United, we have Liverpool in Hong Kong. You in Singapore, you have many Chelsea, Man City, etc. in there, Arsenal in there, and PSG is now in there. But I would like to see more Spanish teams coming to Asia. No? I mean, of course, Valencia, because of the ownership, they have a representation in here. But I mean, for us, as much or as stronger as we can be as a league, the better for everyone. It's like when everybody says to me, "No, but you hate Real Madrid." No, I don't hate Real Madrid. On the pitch, of course, I want to beat them and I want to win. But we need them as they need us, and I think La Liga need Barça as we need La Liga.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the challenges and opportunities that each of you have here in Asia. When La Liga first set up an office in Singapore 2 years ago, we were fully aware that we were a stepping foot into primarily EPL market. And that was a challenge that we had to overcome. Jordi, let me start with you again.
I'm talking too much. Let the others talk a little bit.
We all know the power of FC Barcelona as a brand and as a powerhouse football team. It would be interesting to know whether these challenges and opportunities for FC Barcelona were different than what we saw as La Liga when we first stepped here in Asia, in the region.
So repeat again, sorry. But
my question is, when we first arrived in Asia, we felt like we knew that we were stepping into the EPL territory. Oh, okay. So we want to know if FC Barcelona, when you open your office in Hong Kong, you feel the same way, and you feel like there is actually.
So we were very lucky because we started 6 years ago with Xavi Asensi. That now Xavi is the CCO of the club. So I'm very lucky because he understands the market. So at least I have somebody in Barcelona that understands all what's going on in here. This said, 6 years ago when we started, we were more commercial driven. So I mean, our main objective was to make money in order to pay the salaries of the players, no? And that changed completely dramatically, and thanks to you guys. But it's how the football industry is evolving, no? We came from a more traditional sponsorship model to a partnership, digital, 360 degrees model. So, I mean, when I joined the club 2 years ago, we had an office of 11 people. 70% of them were commercial oriented. Now we are 20 people, and we have marketing, we have digital, we have special projects, we have a commercial designer. I mean, we are changing the mindset, not only in Hong Kong, but we are a mirror of what Barcelona is doing in Barcelona. So we are changing how we approach the business. And thanks again to partners like Rakuten or like Oppo, that they are telling us more or less where the market goes, no? The trends of the market. So I would like to emphasize that the next change is to become a B2C company, no? So more like Walt Disney or Netflix or these big giants. And I would like to become this kind of sports entertainment company in the future.
What would be your recommendation or any tips that if you were to give any suggestions to these gentlemen that they can bring back to the clubs in Spain, you know, if they are to open an office in the region, would you suggest to start same as you guys started with a more commercial approach, or more?
First of all, I would say, so I lived in Brazil for 4 years before that. I mean, these guys, I mean, they are from everywhere, you know? This said, the only way to do the things is by being in the region and understanding the region. So it's very difficult from Spain that we have a very close mentality somehow. I mean, it's how we are. I mean, it's
very Spanish.
Yeah, we are Spanish, so we cannot complain. We have tapas and sunshine and beaches, etc.
That's a separate panel.
Yeah, this said, you have to be there. You have to be here. I mean, you have been living here for the last 10 years. You have to live here and you have to test and to feel the market, because otherwise it will be impossible for them, their CEOs, their president, chairmen, etc., to understand what the market needs. In Asia, like it or not, for the Western mentality is far away and very difficult to understand. I mean, for Spaniards like us, it's easier to go to South America. Okay? I mean, no language barrier, no cultural barrier, easy. And time difference for La Liga matches are better as well. So my recommendation is, yes, indeed, they have to come here. For me, Asia, so I came from Brazil. Brazil is a big market, etc. But for me, the opportunity is here in Asia. The future is in Asia. The present is in Asia. Europe is a mature market. United States is a very competitive market. South America, very tough market, you know better than me, and Asia is where the opportunity lies.
Well, I hope you guys took a note. Hopefully we get to see some of you opening an office here Michael, what sort of challenges and opportunities are present for Sevilla, and what are you guys doing about them?
I mean, the obvious challenge is, as you said, it's the EPL, who have been established there for many years. They've built their brands. I was actually at Manchester United when we opened the Hong Kong office for the first time, and that was quite new. And then, as Jordi mentioned, every team now seems to have built over here, and I think we need to as well. So I'm already going to look at where I can move to in Asia to make that happen, because it's key. It's obvious, it's been discussed many times over the last 2 days. Relationships, being on the ground, spending time with people, being patient. You know, not expecting to come here and get commercial deals right off the bat. It's something that we're, as a club, very aware of. We need to build a Sevilla brand. We need to build our relationships on the ground. And at the minute, we are going to have to rely on our local agencies that we work with, and obviously through the LaLiga contacts. But I think if we're serious about this market, it's obvious we're going to have some presence here in some way. Doesn't necessarily have to mean an office straight away, but someone representing the club. As Jordi commented on, so that is a challenge, but that is an exciting challenge. I think it's the market is obvious. There's massive potential here. It's only going to go on way, and we need to be part of that conversation. So, although I see it as a challenge, I see it as a challenge we can overcome. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of time, and we're going to have to spend more time in market. We're going to have to get the team playing out here more. We're going to have to understand the different markets, and I think for us, it's understanding where in Asia we can pinpoint as well. Not just looking at Asia as let's go and pinpoint Asia. There's many countries, different territories that we need to explore and learn about, and see where Sevilla primarily can have an impact. So a lot of work to do, but an exciting time, I think, for the club and the league in this market.
Michael, what part of, or what percentage, and here is something that I think a lot of us, would agree that, in La Liga, we have one of our unique selling points is those stories, behind, each clubs, and especially the derbies, the regional derbies that we have at La Liga, especially the one in Seville being one of the most recognized. How important is for you also to be able to, when you go out there and sell, about the club, the history of the club, to sell also about the Sevilla itself.
Yeah, it's key. I mean, I spoke about it in my presentation this morning around how we view ourselves as a family club still. We're still owned majority by 3 families who are from Seville, and they see themselves as a family club. Although obviously we're trying to grow commercially, we're trying to grow internationally, which sometimes doesn't go hand in hand. But it's modern football today. It's a challenge at times, but no, it's important. And I say this about Sevilla and La Liga in general, actually, that we've actually got the easy bit done. We've got the product. The product is second to none. We've got the stories. Every club seems unique. It's got history, different types of fans. There's something, each city's different in Spain. I mean, I've loved it living there myself. It's incredible. And so we've got the product. And I think this year especially, it's got very competitive. Anyone could beat anyone. It's felt more like that. It's just about getting the story out there. So we've done the easy bit in a way. We've got the story. We just need to get in front of the right people now, and we need to really just keep going out to different events, meeting the right people and getting the story out there. But no, it's anything I do, any conversations I have, I start with talking about the history of Sevilla, as I said before, the oldest club in the Liga, and talking about what we've done as a club and what makes us so unique.
Perfect. Pedro, does having a Korean player like Kang present now represent more opportunities for Valencia in the region or in the Korean market, or actually it becomes a challenge if he's not playing as much as our Korean fans expect? What can you say about that?
Well, yeah, for sure. First is an opportunity. South Koreans know about football. They have a competitive league with teams performing in the Asian Champions League all the time. They have a really good national team. They've been in the World Cup since I remember, and I'm not that young. So they know about football, and they know about European football. So the fans want to know more about their player and their team. We've been noticing, we have a pretty decent fan base in South Korea that is increasing exponentially in the last year. You can see that in the engagement, in all the digital metrics, and also in the retail figures in the online store, because they are looking to Valencia now. And that's where the challenge is also, because we want to communicate with them We recently started with our Naver account in South Korea, with our Facebook account in Korean.
All this is communicating in Korean language. Already,
yeah, exactly.
Right?
They're in Korean language. They're in a very early stage. We're learning about the market because we're really interested in communicating with those fans that are passionate about us. You can see now in Mestalla, in each game, a lot of South Korean flags. The fans are there. And this is kind of new for us also. And also, it's a success story for the academy, that, as I told you, is one of our flagships. Because Kangin is South Korean, but he arrived as a child. So he's a player from the Valencia academy, with the Valencia values, with the Valencia Club de Football methodology. And, well, he's an amazing player, living his process. And, well, opportunities and challenges are there for us.
I mean, may I ask a question, or
of
can
course,
I?
you know, we have 4 minutes, but left, but it's okay.
Did this player help you to close the deal with LG, or not at all?
No. We're a brand that before Kangin, some Korean brands that are focusing on Spanish football in general. Obviously, having him is important. But yeah, for that dealing specifically, no.
Good question, huh?
I knew that you wanted to do it.
Eduardo, let's finish with one last question for you. Eibar has been overcoming challenges after challenges as a club in La Liga and have come out stronger every time. Do you see similarities in the business challenges here in Asia? And what about the opportunities that clubs like Eibar can see here in the region?
For sure. And I think we have the best case with Inuits left, right? That we lost our main player of interest in Japan. But the good thing is our philosophy, that we always have a plan. So we had a plan in case of Inuits leaving, and we have invested this season more resources and more money on the country to try to be as close as possible with our Japanese audience, our Japanese fans, and try to say to them that the whole work that we have been done all these 3 years, it's not done. It's just part of all what we wanted to do, and we have future in Japan, and we want to be there on the field.
Okay. Is there any other particular markets now in the region that you guys think you're going to put your efforts into as well?
Thinking and trying to work, yeah. We are on Indonesia, India, and China. We are working with the philosophy that we have in the club, that is work step by step and try to go day by day working on the market and try to be close to La Liga, to try to develop as much as activation as possible, as project as possible, and try to come to Asia to be close to the audience. And yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I think we are running out of time. So with this, I would like to say thank you very much to all the panelists. Good luck with the remaining 3 games in the season. Good luck to both Seville and FC Barcelona in the European competition. We Valencia, sorry.
And we will face in a few weeks.
And Copa del Rey final.
Copa del Rey final and all the remaining matches for the rest of the season. To the audience, thank you very much for being here today. And please, can I ask a round of applause for this gentleman? Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ivan. Brilliantly done. Yes, good luck to Barcelona, but not too much good luck, because I'm a Valencia fan, so I'm with Pedro on that one. And Eibar as well. We always have time for Eibar, one of the most remarkable clubs in La Liga. Thank you very much indeed, guys. Much appreciated. Thank you, Pedro. Listen, I know that I'm a bit biased in that respect because I absolutely love the Spanish top division, but just fascinating to see how these clubs are working really together in partnership with La Liga. It really has to be that way. You always are going to have clubs that are stronger than others. We know that Barcelona and Real Madrid are huge clubs with enormous brands, with such success, with such history. But of course, there are other clubs who want to also make their mark. And at different levels, those clubs are doing that. They're finding those creative solutions. And indeed, really, that is what this has been around for me just about all the way through. Just picking out some highlights as we move towards our closing ceremony, ladies and gentlemen. I've just been making a few notes in the last half an hour about what has really impressed me from this inaugural World Football Summit Asia event. We started off on day one talking about the region and how Asia is important for the football industry and how the clubs and some really big name clubs in Europe really value that. We had Paris Saint-Germain on this stage. We had Barcelona on this stage. Borussia Dortmund and Arsenal. So the major leagues represented and how they're trying to not just penetrate the market, but also enhance their offering in this market, using all sorts of different things, colour, crest, brand, history, digital. And we talked about the Asian transfer market today with Player Lens, how it can develop, which players of Asian origin can start appearing in leagues elsewhere, and how the European players can move here and what sort of profiles of player could appear in Asia. We talked a lot about esports throughout the last couple of days. Of course, China, we know, are already making huge moves. So it's already developed to a certain level in this region and what future it holds in terms of unifying that with football. One of my favourite sessions today was women taking over football. 5 very impressive women on stage, explaining how it works in this region in terms of how much has been achieved and how much still there is to do. Some excellent figureheads, and I don't say that lightly. Ladies who work for FIFA, for the AFC, for an Indonesian club, an influencer presenter with Ash, who was hosting and chairing that session. Essie Lestari was part of that session, and also Common Goal over on the WFS Industry Talk stage with their quite unique idea of 1% from every player actually going to charity. And as I mentioned, La Liga and the legend session that I was lucky enough to moderate yesterday with Fernando Morientes, Fernando Sanz, Gaisca Mendieta, and of course Christian Cajombe on stage. So I think those for me have been the highlights. I'm sure that there are plenty of take-homes for you as well. I really hope that you have enjoyed it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've almost come to the end, but before we go, to say a few closing words, please welcome on stage Mr. Mohan Rajaratnam, CEO of World Football Summit Asia.
A very good evening to all of you here. We have come to the end of the inaugural World Football Summit Asia. I must convey my deepest gratitude and appreciation to all our partners, sponsors, participating speakers, and attending delegates from around the world. As the organizers of WFSA, we have brought to you high-quality content from subject matter experts and believe the various supporting activities such as industry talk and networking sessions have benefited you greatly. Over the past 2 days, we have noticed many familiar faces while making new connections. I am proud to say that the World Football Summit Asia has been successful in our attempt to bring the football industry together, making Kuala Lumpur the capital of football in Asia. A special thanks to Dato Hamidin, the president of FAM, Dato Windsor John, General Secretary of AFC, Oscar Mayo, International Director of La Liga, among others, in their support to make this event a success. The summit was attended by 1,500 delegates from 70 countries, together with the participation of 47 football associations from Asia and 100 media agencies. I'd like to share with you an inspiring story without revealing details. Early this morning when I was coming to the convention center, a delegate rushed up to me, held my hand, and he started talking to me, and he was saying, he introduced himself that he is from the 3rd generation of a family business, dealing with trophies and merchandising and all that. And he was mentioning that business has been bad over the past few years and is getting bad, and he was thinking of closing the business down. But what happened was he had 2 new contacts who he met up, and he said he believes strongly that this is going to be the life wire of changing his business. This is precisely why we have the World Football Summit Asia. This is basically to provide you the access to industry knowledge and to get you connected with the right people. The World Football Summit Asia is just the start. Echoing Datu Windsor, this is Asia's time. We are all part of the global football industry, and such as we have shared responsibility to ensure that the momentum gained from the summit continues. By working together, let us propel Asia to be the global business platform for the football industry. We are also excited to announce that we have received much interest to bring this event to several cities in Thailand, India, Indonesia. I have promised to consider. We will keep you updated. I would like to call my team up on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting you the team that brought you World Football Summit Asia. It's a success because of you. You guys made it happen. Thank you so much. And we'll see you in WFSA 2020. Thank you. Thank you once again.